I noticed that more and more people are going against anime lately. I mean, there always were some fringe people, but like now it's a conversation that's starting to become more and more mainstream for some bizarre reason. And I think it started when the Vice magazine article gave the marching orders. For those of you who don't remember, Vice magazine said that anime is pedophilic. It decided to region black that documentary in Japan so that it doesn't have Japanese people correct them on the misinformation. It decided to disable the comments so that users can't debunk what they were saying. And that article, believe it or not, got a Pulitzer nomination. So since that time, I've seen more and more people going after anime and trying to, especially suggest that people who like anime are pedophiles or that anime has a child molestation problem. And that reminds me of the exact same way that leftists attack the comic book industry, that they attack the video gaming industry, that they attack TV show and American culture. They use shaming tactics. It's like, all of you geeks are racist, or you're misogynistic. Put us in charge so we can censor the video games you like, and we can then provide a mature product for decent people. And this is exactly what I'm seeing with anime happening right now. And it's very interesting because the people who are for fan service, they're actually winning. Because there's a lot of people who grew up like me in the 90s with Western fan service, and that was taken away from us, so we had to go to anime. And unfortunately, for the people that are advocating for censorship, they are vastly and superiorly outnumbered. So whenever they have like a dumb opinion on the internet, there are exponentially more people that disagree with their take. So this is a perfect example, like what we have here. Someone justifying the costume change of this character from My Hero Academia. Now, I gotta point out that there were individuals like accusing you like, of being pedophilic if you didn't like the censorship. So like if you like the original design, it must be because you like underage girls or something, right? It's just like this bizarre take. I personally don't like the censorship for the fact that it's censorship. And secondly, I do think that the second costume looks more interesting. Like, she's a superhero. It makes it look like it stands out. While the first costume is just like a normal girl. Secondly, the lore thing. Like, she literally pulls weapons out of her ass. So, like, the more skin she has exposed, the more weapons she can pull. But I want to point out that this is not about morality, right? Like, I can easily prove it to you that these people are doing the exact same tactics that the leftists were doing when they were calling everything racist and misogynistic. Like, this is a playbook that works. And I can prove it, right? So like, if you have an anime where you get, like, a 10-year-old girl, and she's actually canon a 50,000-year-old witch, that doesn't fly, okay? Like, even Steam would point out that if you try something like that, it doesn't work. So, if a character is clearly, unequivocally drawn like a little girl, and you sexualize that, then yeah, I can see why you would have a point, right? Like, even if the author makes it like 400,000 years old, whatever, I can see why Steam wouldn't allow that, considering that those types of drawings are illegal in many countries. However, why is it then that when you have a character that is drawn like an adult, which is in the case of this character from My Hero Academia, why is it that you have to go to Wikipedia to show me the canon age of the character? Like, all of a sudden, now the age matters. And you're like, oh, well, look, she's 17. And it's interesting because, like, there are certain characters in some animes that there's like a time difference of 1 year or many, and they look the same, right? Because the artist isn't going to redraw them. And you're like, oh, well, in season 1, she can have this costume from the left, but in season 2, she can have the other. What madness is this? Like, these are obviously fictional characters. The body is clearly designed to be that of an adult woman. Now, if someone looks at this and likes the second costume, I have no problem with them, right? Like, unironically, even if I were to actually believe that someone that lusts over cartoons is a societal problem, again, in the age when we have furries and we got OnlyFans and we have, like, the entire porn industry that uses real people and all of that. And I agree with you then, like, okay, well, I'm on your side. If someone likes Chibiusa from Sailor Moon, that is problematic. Even if Chibiusa would be like 500,000 years old. But then if the canon age isn't taken into account, why is it that all of a sudden it is taken into account even when the character is drawn like a mature woman? Because I genuinely think that these individuals do not care, and the only thing that they care about is attacking anime. And if you look at their timeline, usually, overwhelmingly, they seem to either be immersed into the furry fandom, or they seem to like anime men like Uzumaki Naruto. Because here's another thing that also didn't escape my observations. The same anime, which is My Hero Academia, that was like heavily criticized. Funny enough how like the anime that is the direct competitor to Marvel Comics and DC Comics gets like constant flack, nonstop, which is an anime that, by the way, doesn't have any sex in it, doesn't have any porn in it. It does have like fan service, and it's usually done for a comedic effect. And it's not worse than the stuff that I grew up in the 90s, by the way. Like just Google Neverwinter Nights Sexy Elf, and you see what I grew up with and what you have been missing. But my point is, the main character of this anime, Deku, is also underage. And in the first episodes and in a lot of others, he appears shirtless. And he is muscle-packed. He is hypersexualized, as the left likes to call him. No one has a problem with it. I haven't heard a single complaint. So when a male character is being hypersexualized, oh, it is fine. Because again, the people doing the complaining, you go onto their Twitter and you see that they're lusting after anime men. Which is a noble endeavor, I suppose. I mean, I respect that. You know, more power to you, but I don't understand why you're not more tolerant. If someone likes the second costume of this lady, why is it that you insult them and you call them a pedophile? I mean, I don't know how it's like in the United States, but here's such an accusation, especially when it's unfounded, it's considered incredibly rude. It's literally like being a feminist and going around and calling everyone a misogynist. Like, eventually, the word loses its meaning. Do you understand that? Like, you shouldn't do it unless the person legitimately likes children. And not to mention, like, usually, the definition of the word means prepubescent. Like, when you look at this character, it doesn't even look like that. So this is my proof, right? Like, they only use shaming tactics in order to try to deconstruct this art form. And the problem is, like, the reason it's working is that anime characters are caricatures of real people. Like, they do not represent real people. The body, neck down, yes. But the face has large eyes. The nose is just a little dot. Most of these characters do not even have lips. So, the reason for the large eyes is probably why a lot of people look at it and they think child, because children, like babies, have large eyes. But, like, this is a caricature. It's a representation. It's a make-believe. And especially when it's got the body of an adult woman, you cannot say that someone who likes fan service is problematic. But again, you know, it is just bizarre that this topic is being brought up with such intensity and fervor, again, after the Vice magazine article. And this is reinforced and strengthened to me on the fact that if they were to only talk about characters like Chibiusa from Sailor Moon, I could see their point. I would be like, okay, well, they're this disgusted by it that they're definitely outraged. Okay. But when you start to support censorship and westernize anime and turn it into what comic books and video games in the West are now, and you're basically saying that anyone who disagrees or anyone that likes this is a pedophile, like, I'm sorry, you lost the plot. I genuinely think you lost the plot. You had me for a little bit. I gotta say, you roped me along for a couple of yards, but now you completely lost me. Especially when it's not even pornographic. So, like, what the fuck are we talking about? What is wrong with you? And by the way, you know, like, I can like something that looks cute without wanting to fuck it. Like, if I see a cat, right? I like the cat. I want to cuddle it. I want to pet it. But that doesn't mean I want to have sex with it, right? Is that normal? Is that normal behavior? Am I a furry if I like cats? I don't know. Jesus. The morals of Twitter are ever changing. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.